ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lucore Automotive. Obviously today we are not at Lucore Automotive. Today we are at Norwalk, Summit Motorsports Park. I have with me the 1971 Pontiac Le Mans Sport, because it is Pontiac Nationals out here today, all weekend in fact. And this place is absolutely packed with some badass ponchos. And I'm not saying I got the best parking spot in the entire place, but there's the track. So we're going to show you everything we could possibly show you. Walk around, do a little bit of the car show stuff, walk through the corral, a little bit of that stuff, and then of course we'll show you some racing because we're at the racetrack. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Show everything we can. Now I know I've promised I would talk about this car at some point in time. Unfortunately today is not going to be that day because there's way too much other cool stuff to talk about and look at. But for those of you who are interested in seeing it, that is our essentially completely unmolested, hold please, 1971 Pontiac Le Mans Sport. It is an original Pontiac 350. It's the original rods, original piston, original crank. It does have long tube headers on it. It's been swapped from a 2-barrel to a 4-barrel, but I still do have the original 2-barrel and the 2-barrel intake manifold, and it's got a set of long tube headers on it. But otherwise, this thing is about as stock as it comes. If you want to think about it, this was kind of like your mom's Accord back in 1971. We've come a long way, haven't we? Anyway, let's do some walking around, look at some cars, do some racing. If you'd like to skip the car show walking around and the car corral stuff, you can get straight to the racing at the 20-minute mark. Go ahead and jump ahead. We understand. Pretty cool collection of Firehawks here. One of the neat things about these Nationals is you really see a lot of like the really rare cars. You see them in packs. Normally you wouldn't see a bunch of these all together because they're pretty rare vehicles, but when it's Pontiac Nationals, they all come out. Got a whole other line of them here. Actually great cars. It's a shame this was kind of the very, very end of the Pontiac brand because they were fun little rides. Whenever you get out to one of these events, there's always going to be a car corral area where cars are for sale or trade. Because a lot of these guys will buy something, build something, work on it, have it for a couple of years, and then get bored of it and want to move on to something else. Or it's for sale, honey. because just because it won't sell doesn't mean just nobody will pay for it, honey. It's for sale. It's not my fault nobody will buy it, but it's for sale. I'm not saying that anybody's ever done that, but some swap meet stuff, always a great time. I actually promised myself this morning that I was only going to take so much money with me in cash so that I didn't spend a whole bunch of money in the swap meets. So I'm going to try to not spend any time over here. But there's a lot of it.
No fireworks.
Now I gotta say, I am a Pontiac guy. I will completely admit that, which is one of the reasons that I made sure that I am here. Last year this did not happen because, obviously, and everything on the property, all kinds of cool stuff. One of my favorites so far is something that most people would not really ever give any love to. 1974 GTO. Okay, so it's like a Nova. Basically, it's a Nova. But some wonderful Pontiac person that shoved a 455 in it. Not factory, but awesome. One of the things I always love coming out to national events for is the people that have stories for these things. Like the people that typically show up at nationals events, especially the old timers, these guys have been in, and these women have been into this world for a long, long time. You don't normally just kind of stumble into this. This is something you've been passionate about for a long time. Like, this was my car I drove in high school, or like my car I drove in high school, or my dad had one of these when I was a kid, or almost everybody that's here has some kind of a connection and some kind of a story as to why they're a Pontiac person, why they're here, why they own what they own. And it's cool. I'm not even just the cars, it's the conversations. And even if you don't have the conversations, you hear them, and it just has to make you smile. Because you gotta be honest, a lot of American history is wrapped up in automobiles.
Callbacks gets there first, 1398 and 95 miles an hour. A hill goes at 1460 and 95 miles per hour.
I'll definitely include this in our video for sure.
John Lemon,
That's fantastic. Good talk with you.
yeah, you too. Have a great day.
Okay. So in case you're curious what over the top is, that's over the top, people. That's over the top. Cool story though. Yeah, Fieros. Interesting little vehicles. We'll actually show you a really interesting version of one of these things here very shortly. That's a customer of ours that we've done a ton of work with as far as getting his suspension sorted out over and over and over again. Really, really stupidly quick Pontiac Fiero. We'll show you guys that in a future episode, but this is, I'm actually kind of loving this with the classic snowflake wheels on this. Yeah, I kind of love this. It's a super clean car too. Wow. I actually really, really like this car. Look at this thing.
1369 and 99 miles an hour.
That's freaking jewelry.
66 at 106.
Wow.
I mean, just taking the carburetors apart and doing all that work. After you come to these shows,
17 miles an hour from the limit. Control around about 66, 110 miles per hour.
There's just so much to see at these shows. It's a great way to spend the day for sure. But yeah, man, so many amazing cars. Let's wander our way down towards the starting line, do a little bit of race car watching. Enough of the show car stuff. Let's see them go fast.
In the area. Lead round number 1. Lane for round number 1. Even cars on. Wisconsin, the 10 Indian Performance 64 GTO. So it's that. Red light start, traffic, 63 red, back to 60. Transportation, Budweiser Link. Gary Crowell is just number only, Super Duty Promotions, Pro Cars, round 1. We need you to the lanes, and hey guys, remember, dial Super Duty Promotions, Pro Cars. We need you to the lanes for round number 1. The 70 GTO and Budweiser. Taylor's going to get there first. 11, 12, and 120.
One thing I absolutely do love about these events is the fact that you get to see people who have real actual show cars, like very, very nice show cars. that are willing to give it the beans out here and to give it a race. See what it'll do. Way too often you end up with guys that have tons and tons and tons of money put into a vehicle, and it basically doesn't ever go anywhere. Now, I understand and I appreciate it. I like show cars too, but I want to be able to go in my show car. Next up, some serious race cars. So next up, we got a lot more to go, a whole lot less of the show. This should be fun.
The 30th running of the Ames Performance Pontiac Nationals, Summit side of the racetrack. That is their predicted EC, or they're dialing it. Jeremy Porter on now Porter's probably looking over dialing time Summit Lake. India Smith out of Kokomo, Indiana, the 78 Le Mans, the 1008 down. That's 2/100. Garrett Frederick out of Bellevue, the 79 Trans Am Summit Lane, 2011-34. And the Budweiser Lane, 990 dial-in time. The GTO over here. GTO dialed at 1035. Start Summit Lane, leading it over to the Budweiser side. 134 reacts time, 1039 on the 1035. John Labutta out of Hermione, Pennsylvania, the 56 Star Chief, Budweiser side dialed at 1059. And out of Woodville, Ohio, the 86 69 reaction time. He takes the strike by 4/10,000ths of a second. Johnny Gilliam out of Cuyahoga, Oklahoma, the 68.9 GTO 9:45 down on time. And Joe Taylor out of Donisville, Ohio, the 62 Le Mans, Summit side down on 10. Well, it should have been door-to-door. Joe Taylor grabbing the win. 1086 on the 1084. He takes the strap by 4.5/10. Johnny Gilliam runs a 992 on the 945 after the 050 reaction. Chris Lewis out of Manning, Colorado, the 61 Ventura down to 1120 Budweiser Lane. And Randy Peer out of Ridgely, West Virginia, the 63 Le Mans Summit Lane. He's down to 917. Lewis looking for the 1120. Robert Barros out of Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Summit side of the racetrack, out of 1031. Ken Ross forward. Sets the front end down a little early, 1054 on the 1031, takes the strap by 3/10 of a second after the flight for a 003 reaction time. Out of Meavy, Michigan, out of dial to 1017 Summit side, and Jacob Nemeth out of Barbertown, Ohio, in the Trans Am, dial to 1010. He's also looking over his shoulder at the oncoming Nemeth. Top end, wind light, Bazinsko 23 reaction time. Nemeth 312 on the tree, and you can't get it done. Look at that lead. Mike Wilson out of Hawley, Pennsylvania, the 68 Firebird, 1019 dial and time, Budweiser side. And John Gunner out of Pasadena, Maryland, the 65 GTO, Summit Lane, dialed at 915. We need odd number crow cars. Odd number crow cars. We need to be going right next to the lane for round number 1. Advantage. Wilson, the wind light, 1032 on the 1019, takes the strap by 45,000. He was 090 on the tree. Taylor Cook out of Central South Carolina, the 78 Trans Am Summit side. He's out of 926. And Clifford Mays out of Westminster, Maryland, the Gem Racing 68 GTO Budweiser Lane, down to 948. passenger side 055 reaction time, runs in 11:17 on the 11:03, and he takes the stride by 173. The wheel stander, Terry Grenshaw out of Coldwater, Michigan. The Firebird dialed in at a 1085 Budweiser lane. He'll be taking on Courtney Martin out of Sellersville, Pennsylvania. The Clemens Multi Park 70 GTO. Car sideways. Buddy turned on a wind light after the red light start for Martin. On to Speed Shack. 1370 on the 63. He takes a straight by 7th out after the nice 040 reaction time. Terry Spear out of Columbia, Tennessee. The 64 Tempest Summit side of the racetrack. And here's Johnny Gilliam out of Talaga, Oklahoma, the 69 GTO Budweiser lane down to 1083. Gilliam, starting line advantage. Gilliam down there trying to close the gap, and he does. Time did not help him. Dave Perdue, Summit side out of Columbus, Ohio, the 63 Le Mans, Summit lane. And the Budweiser side dialed in at a 998. Perdue the advantage. Oh, but Budweiser lane's going to grab the win, 141 reaction time, 10 flat on the 998. Even though Perdue had the better reaction time, the Budweiser sidecar had the better package. Jack Clemens out of Green Lane, Pennsylvania, the 70 GTO Summit side. And Bill Giannicaros out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, down to 970 Budweiser. Bill Giannicaros has the starting line advantage, and he's already in front. Takes that 970 and turns it into a win with the 3, and he was way slow. Ken Ferber out of Auburn, Indiana, the 74 GTO Summit side, dialed at 1082. They'll be taking on John Drury out of Buffalo. Ferber was the starting line advantage, and he'll win like 1085 on the 1082, taking straight by 39 south. He was 040 on the tree. Drury had a 128 reaction time and broke out trying to get there. Dave Hoover out of Crittersville, Ohio, the 64 Tempest Summit lane. He'll be taking on Jed Cord out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, the 68 GTO down to 1015 Bud lane. Better 049 reaction time, runs a 1044 on the 1017. Corey Lynn out of New Franklin in the Firebird, 1029 dial-in time in the Summit lane. And the GTO over here in the Budweiser lane down to 1005. Starting line advantage. And he turns it into a after the 093 reaction time. Rick Waters out of Tinley Park, Illinois, the 62 Tempest, 850 dial-in time, Budweiser lane. And Peter Steeman out of Salem, Wisconsin, the 67 GTO Summit Lane down to 1179. Good luck, start for Waters, handing the one over to Stemmen. Stemmen's 192 on the tree. Runs in the Oh man. Adams, 154 reaction time, takes the stride by 3 seconds. He broke out, rode to 945 on the 953. All he had to do, get out of the gas, tap the brakes, or just even look in his mirror and I don't know. Anyway, Mitch Hendricks moves on, 028 reaction time, 1380 on the 1053 dial. Red light start for Adams, handing the one over to Hendrick. Runs a 1061 on the 1053 after the 049 reaction time. Brett Blakemeyer out of Pandora, Ohio, the 68 GTO Summit Lane, dialed at 1098. Max Cabas out of Salem, Ohio. Firebird dialed in at 1217. Light, Matt Cabas, 1224 on the 1217 after the 064 reaction time, taking the strap by over a tenth. Blakemeyer at a 216 reaction time, and he couldn't get it together. All right, drivers, listen up. Here's the deal. Dial-in accuracy is on you, not the track crew. So before you pre-stage, make sure you're dialing on the scoreboard down there, or even on the display boards here in the water box, match your dial-in. If your dial-in is not correct, on the starting line, and we will get that taken care of. Once you pre-stage, you accept the dial that is on the scoreboard. If it is wrong, there is nothing we can do. Edmund Ellison out of Beaver Creek, Ohio, the 61 Tempest, Budweiser side dialed in 994. And Joel Larkin out of Mansfield, Ohio, the Firebird capital of the world, dialed at 1043 Summit Lane. Ellison, the starting line advantage. 17th thou, he's 035 on the tree. Larkin, 146 reaction time, and broke out trying to get to the finish line first. Here's Stacy McCarty out of Indianapolis, Indiana, in the GTI Automatic Super Stock Grand Am, dialed to 909. Should be taking on Jerry Hudson out of Lancaster, Ohio, the 67 Firebird, down to 1145. Goes up in tires. He's going to do one at 1150 on the 1145. He takes the stride by quite a bit.
After the 056 ragtime, McCarty 056 on the tree, and had an issue on the starting line with the car. The Trans Am Summit side of the racetrack looking for an 11 flat dial in time. Keenan Nisley. The 62 Lamont down to 960. Nisley with a slight advantage. Side getting there first, but breaks out by 400. 116 reaction time, 972 on the 960 for Nisley. Andy Kellman, the 73 Ventura out of Seville, dialed at 1042 Summit Lane. We'll be taking on Merle Schwallen out of McKinney, Texas, in the 79 Trans Am, dialed at 1207. Fisher, Budweiser side of the racetrack out of Davisburg, Michigan, the 73 Firebird. He's in the Bud lane, dialed to 981, and Brett Flynn out of Muncie, Indiana, the 62 Catalina, dialed to 1210. By a 10th. Fisher 151 react time and way above, no good. Ed Sourween out of Canfield, Ohio, the 83 Firebird, down to 1141 Budweiser Lane. He'll be taking on Ray Clem out of 1104. What's my going to play out here? I'd like Starfish Valley, 376 on the street. Sour was coming, 5 red. That'll bring up Wade Christ out of Fern Creek, Kentucky, the 57 C4 for Scumbag Racing, the Honcho Poncho. 11:57 dial in time, and Rich Schoenberg out of Athens, Illinois, the 67 Firebird Summit Lane. Norman out of North Plain, Illinois. Whitlock, Onemeyer, 007 react time runs a 1079 on the 1045. Norman breaking out. Savannah 121 on the tree, 42. Attention in the pit area. We need all Pontiac.com Super Pro to the lanes. All Pontiac.com Super Pro. We need you to the lanes for round number 1. All Pontiac.com Super Pro. We need you to the lanes for round number 1. Joel Leisure out of Decatur, Illinois for Bad Pond Racing. Another clever girl. 71 miles down to 1331. Pennsylvania, the 68 Trans Am, or 69 Trans Am. He's out of 1025 Budweiser Lane. He'll be taking out Jeff Raff out of Westminster, Maryland. The 64 GTO, dialed to 988. And wisely cuts it down early. Jeff Mason out of Littlestown, Pennsylvania, the 73 Firebird Budweiser Lane. He's out of 10 flat, taking on Joe Hendrick out of Londonville, Ohio. Red light start, Joe Hendrick handing it over to Mason. 7:14 reaction time runs a 1066 on the 10 flat. Again, all Pontiac.com Super Pro, we need you to the lanes. All Pontiac.com Super Pro, we need you to the lanes for round number 1. Pennsylvania in the 87 Grand Prix with the starting line advantage and the tension in the pit area. Well, I got staging lane. The pro guy on the buy run, we need you back to your car. Pro driver, if you are on the buy run, we need you back to your car, please. Josh Carson out of Greenwood, Indiana. And Carson's going to pick up the True Star win. He's 018 red. Savannah. Dale Davis out of Toledo, the Footbreaker, the Fantasy Firebird, 10:52 dial-in time, Budweiser Lane. And Jeff Borlier out of North Branch, Michigan, the 62 Catalina Summit Lane. Davis 014. Door to door, wind light. Dead on with the 6 after the 042 reaction time. Slowed down a little bit. He did have the better 024 reaction time though. Freiberger out of Delpho styled in at a 980 Summit lane. And the Trans Am Budweiser lane dialed a 1067. Whoever is your need, looking for a friend indeed, they need a Mallory distributor pickup module for a Unilife. So if you have that part, you can help our friend. Go over to Guest Services Budweiser side and they will get you guys set up. On the 1160 runs a 1166. Joe Gabrielli out of Poland, Ohio, the 91 Formula, dialed at 1080. We'll be taking out Darren Brando out of Riverside in the 65
So we take that key winner. Out of Valley View, Ohio.
Okay, so this might be the craziest thing I've seen so far today. It's a GTO with an 891 dial-in and no roof. Yeah! So you get the idea.
7 on the 1080.
All kinds of Pontiac stuff. Ponchos everywhere.
Get out of Greenwich, Ohio.
You've got street cars, you've got race cars, you've got serious race cars, you got mixes of the two, you got show cars that come out and have fun. All of it. Tons of it. If you've never been to a Pontiac Nationals and you're a Pontiac fan, take it to it. The nice thing is, it's really loud. The nice thing is, basically every brand has their own Nationals. Mopar has a Nationals, which is coming up here very shortly. I'll be at that also. Buick has a Nationals. Chevy has a bunch of them. Ford, all of them. They all have Nationals. So if you're interested in a specific brand and you want to see what's the coolest, fastest stuff in your particular brand, make it out to one of the national events. Whew, man. What a way to spend a weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will hand the baton over to my friend, Tom Trapper.
So, coming to this event since 2000.
You're fine. This part's not very exciting.
Going to LNG on Irwin, Pennsylvania. 1967. Nobody will be. The orange here on your phone. Abadivo style, the Founder 2Q gets big block Chevrolet powered by transmission. Corvette with the 871 magnesium pole. Charger. Timmer in 1966 Chevy 2.
Stockholm, Pennsylvania, the 79 Trans Am. And out of Summertown, Tennessee, Scotty Green, the 86 Trans Am. He's in the number 7 spot with an 844. Nothing yet. No one qualified. So once again, the remainder of street elimination. The remainder of street elimination. If you have not made your first round appearance, we need you to the lane for the completion of round number 1. Red line start by 10th out for Seth Lemire. He runs 6 at 161 miles per hour. Butner, 8 flat at 167 miles an hour after the red line start as well. Stephen Grog out of Holland, Ohio, the 70 GTO Summit side of the racetrack. And Bob Butner out of Warren, Pennsylvania, the 67 GTO. He's over in the Budweiser lane. At 149. Hey guys, check this out. The Pontiac.com and Pontiac Girl are having a big sale. All men's t-shirts are regularly priced at $17. They are now $10. And the hats are $15 now. They're regularly $20. So better hurry over there while all this stuff lasts, because it is going to go quick. Out of Saginaw, Texas. And George Zimnicki out of South Rockwood, the 74 GTO out in the Budweiser lane. He's in at number 4 with an 812. This is Bruce Boyd, Summit side of the racetrack at Norwalk, Michigan. The R&B Total Performance 6. Street Eliminator, if you have not made your first round appearance yet, you have been called to the lane. The remainder of Tin India Performance Street Eliminator, we need you to the lanes. For round 1. So Mike Cooper out of El Dorado, the 68 Firebird for Butler Performance, and Gary Seigan out of Renfrew, Pennsylvania for Seigan Speed Engineering 70 GTO Budweiser lane. Again, this is your Butler Performance Frantic 4 final. Cooper.
Of course, what would a gigantic car show be without vendors and all of the people that support us in our automotive addictions? And some indie street rod guys here. Of course, sitting here with the Butler Performance tent. If you're a Pontiac person, you've probably bought something from Butler, or probably should have.
Red light star, both drivers are on white, picked up a 2-star Wendy's 010 red. Gianna Caros is 028 red. 941 on the 938 for white. He will be back for round number 2.
You guys enjoy it?
If you are familiar with 1970 Le Mans, we just finished off with the Violator set from Pipes. Wonderful people from Pipes are out here.
Comes with the new crate.
We've used a ton of their stuff, and it sounds fantastic. Cold case cooling systems. Dude looks like he's chilling. Well, there you go. If you've made it this far, thanks for making it. I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of the show instead of filming the entire thing, so you guys don't get to watch any more of it. If you want to do it next time, come out to the show. Thank you very much for watching. We appreciate your support as always. We will continue to try to get some of these events out to you guys as we get to enjoy them as well. We might as well bring them to you guys, for those of you who don't get to enjoy it yourselves. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. Please do drop a comment in the comment section below if you'd like. Click on the like button as you made it this far. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. We'll be at Pontiac Nationals here in a couple of days. See you then.